Hey, and welcome back to another Process to Perform Best of the Basics video. We're going to do a playoff preview edition this week, looking at the AFC champions, the Buffalo Bills. They played in one of the only meaningful Week 17 games last week against the Miami Dolphins, who are still fighting to procure that playoff spot. And it was a really one-sided game. And obviously, when we go through these games, I like to go through them kind of as I see it, as you see it, and we look at indicators, individual indicators in the box that kind of tell a story that help us build out kind of our offensive or defensive game plan against that individual opponent, right? Because winning those individual matchups, when we talk about scheme, we talk about kind of big picture things. If you can win your individual matchup, you can really be a game wrecker. And so there's a lot of information to take both from the offensive and defensive side of the Buffalo Bills line schemes. But also when you look at the way they move personnel around, the personnel that they use, the way they hide people and the way they use formations to kind of take care of problems, especially against a team like the Miami Dolphins, who are using a lot of man coverage, a lot of cover zero, and they do just a marvelous job of really putting people in the right position to make plays, putting their players in space like we talk about all the time, things that are kind of the consequence of you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Packers. The Bills are really one of those teams too, are finding ways to put people in space to have success. So take a look at this and we'll talk later.
I thought this game would be good to watch. Obviously, Miami's an up-and-coming team. Their head coach has really brought in a new culture of kind of hard work and discipline. I obviously know a couple guys on that staff, and they're really kind of impressed, over the last 2 years what they've been able to accomplish. They don't look like world beaters, but they play really, really well as a team. They're very, very smart. They're disciplined. And we look on the other side with what's going on with Josh Allen and kind of year he's having, but also really they win up front. Like they're really, really good up front. And part of that's the way we always talk about this, the way that you run the offense in the NFL right now. If you look at the best offenses in the NFL on the best teams, now there's some other teams that are, getting a lot of garbage yards, but you look at the best offenses on the best teams, there's a lot, heavy dose of run, heavy dose of play action pass, quick passes, screens, putting people in space, getting the quarterback kind of off the spot in the sense that they're not always just dropping back 5-7 step drop in the pocket at the same time, so they move them around, whether it's waggles, whether it's key passes, whether it's play action pass. And so I'd like to just go through, because this, not a lot of games in the Week 17, we're getting all, the full complement and suite of starters. So we wanted to have the opportunity to go through a game that actually was. So we look at this right now, and you just got to have an over defensive line, run a wildcat. You just like the way that the linebackers stay home. Linebackers stay home. These guys are doing a great job winning matchups here, especially on the backside. Like, that's a masterful job. Let's watch that one more time. So we're looking here on this backside A. Right? And what happens is he steps right into the center. Right? So this is a good coaching point for the young defensive linemen. When you sense, I'm pretty sure, just because of the way he's looking, this guy seems to know that center stepping to him or maybe he's getting doubled. And when you attack that one player, it really screws up the offensive lineman because they're looking to combination block and they get movement and obviously one player comes off. But if you can go ahead and attack a single player of that combination block and really just go right into them, oftentimes they don't get their footwork down in time and you're able to stalemate that one player. Then, by stalemating one, you're essentially stalemating the other. Again, a six-man box. Got creeping here. He's out, kind of almost past the B gap. Obviously, you're assuming this is going to be some sort of just drop back pass. This guy right here is turning a really good player, 73. Just spotlight him real quick. So he's massive, right? And, you don't really like, now he's not going against a true pass rusher here. You don't really like kind of stepping out wide and flat like that because you're just so open to the inside move. But you see, even with how big as he is, you see the footwork. He's not really clicking his heels together. He does a really nice job of, if you are going to go flat, kind of force that guy out. Look how far away from the quarterback 43 is now, right? You give yourself an opportunity for success. And then you see over here, the bull gets that arm down. Uh-oh, splash. Right, just a really good job of using your hands. Winning with your hands. Winning with your feet, winning with your hands. Those do a great job of mixing up their personnel. So they got 21. They got 21 in the game. Two tight ends. You would think these two tight ends could probably handle these two guys plus the safety. This guy isn't, oversized. Doesn't look like an overpowering player. Playing a 4-eye here, which is kind of interesting. that really makes it difficult. The 4-eye block on the backside is actually a really difficult one because it's not quite a B anymore, right? This guy's playing straight up, so as you look at this, you can almost call this a jam if you want, depending on how you want to block this out. But it really puts the pressure on either the center or the tackle. If you're running to the right, for example, the offense is right, really puts the pressure on them to make something happen. You see, I mean, this is all done by the running back, but you look kind of what the problems are, right? Once this player gets head up, his right hand is down, like indicators, right? Right hand's down, this foot's back. He's not going to the left. He is not going to the left. Here's another indicator, right? I don't know anything about this defense, but what I do know for sure is that when you're playing with this kind of base, you're not spiking. Yeah, you're playing two gap, or you're going to play outside. It's one or the other. Everybody's kind of loses there, and then we lose leverage here. 43 loses leverage coming in. I'm not sure why that happens. Let's take a look again. So he's just hot releasing this. I don't know what this tight end's planning on doing here, but actually works out for him because 43 should be blocked right into the play here. Okay, so you're back. Again, this is the kind of look where you're thinking, okay, he's not going backside. He could be cutting off. He could be just influence blocking. Looking at these linemen now as far as what kind of play do I think it is? This guard tells me it's a pass. This tackle tells me it's a pass. Yeah, okay. Oh, Lord. All right, so I was just singing his praises. 73. And so this is what happens when you come flat. So this is actually apropos, right? So we just talked about when you come flat, what the problems are. Like 43, smart player, probably seen this on tape a lot. I know he's running play action pass, but indicators are telling you, all these other guys are telling you that this is not a play action. I mean, this is not play actions, or excuse me, this is not a run. This is just a pass. So beats him inside. Flat footwork, gives up hits. It's a fact of life. This is why you want to be consistent in what you do. Aiming points are obviously inside out there, not outside in. Okay, so after the pick, we have a really good young player out here. Jesse's been there for a long time. And then obviously, we've talked about 75 before. It's kind of resurrected his career, I think, coming out. He's got a lot of you can see like his height is a problem, right? But I think they've been well coached down there for sure. Just kind of watch these first couple of plays. You look at the defense here. Let's do that one more time. You look at the defense here. Pretty standard, right? 6 in the box. Your two safeties, either one could be coming down right now. If you're going to play the guessing game, you would think, yeah, probably this guy, just the way the backers are rotated over. But you're not going to count either of these players in your count if you're the offensive line, right? You're just trying to block 6. Obviously, in a position here, we could go backside. In fact, I'm not sure what else he can do from that position. Yeah. We've talked about the Miami Dolphins before. Their tight ends I wouldn't consider them good blockers. And so they do a lot of that wham blocking. But Chan Gailey's just done a really good job, really all year, about being smart with what his personnel is, putting guys in positions to be successful. That's really the mark of a great coach. Honestly, we talk about scheme and we talk about complicated schemes and how we're tricking the defense and everything. All you're really trying to do is put this guy in a position to make plays, whether that's by moving him off the spot, whether that's by putting guys in motion, giving them easier read, whether it's giving them easier read through play action pass, whether it's creating a strong run game, like putting that guy in a position to be successful, right? And giving him the tools to be successful, or the tools around him to be successful. So great little RPO. I mean, that's just such easy yards. You think about that. It's a 1st and 10. It's a 10, 12-yard pickup. Such an easy way to move the ball on offense. It's like free yardage almost, right? I want to start just kind of picking on things a little bit here. What's different? You start looking about what's different. What's different in his stance? He's square, right? This guy's kind of turned out a little bit. I mean, everything's just a little bit. Look at this shoulder. Like everything's a little bit different when they're running, right? We're giving these tight ends a hard time. Watch this. This is funny. Like I think you have other options to block, but Somebody gets paid for, I guess. All right, empty. First really empty set of the game. Oh, Lord. Okay, so and these are the kind of things that as a football team, what you really want to get good at is you want to be great against the blitz, right? The great quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, Tom Brady, those guys are just nails against the blitz. Like you look at that stat has always been a really telling stat to me. If you blitz me, I will make you pay kind of idea. And this is what they can do to a young quarterback. This guy's extremely athletic. And so as you look at this, maybe they've called the slide to the left. And so these guys have to pick this guy up on scat. Now you can just see the way that he's playing. He could be bouncing back out and trying to, and trying to bump this guy off his spot. Certainly, this guy has no immediate kind of man responsibilities. So he's probably a drop guy. He just certainly doesn't look like he's coming. But if you pointed to your left, you got to live with it. And now you just see we got the cross pickup with the guy coming, catches him off guard. Okay, again, so the Buffalo Bills, one thing you got to love about them is they're kind of built for the weather. They're built for their crowd, right? They're built for their hometown, right? They're gonna get their hands dirty. They like to run the ball. They like to use play action pass. They like using tight ends. It's not this exotic look. They're just running some plays that put their players in good positions to be successful, and they execute it very well. If I look at this, again, you just find immediately the guys that you can start cheating on. Right? This guard's showing you it's a run. Just the way that he's going. He might even be pulling. I'm not sure. Yep, he's pulling. Okay. Again, if I'm, we used to have this guy Billy Lyon, and Billy Lyon would start yelling, he lied, like this. You give your hands up like this. Your toes are up, like your hips are up. You're clearly pulling, right? So if this guy's communicating to his guys at all, it's like a free play, right? You see what ends up happening here, and maybe they did communicate this because if you watch this nose tackle, he's tightened it up now and he's coming across, and now he really screws up that guard so they can't get into the play. Right, so it's probably good communication there by the Miami Dolphins, and that's something I'm sure they're teaching. Indicators. So this is something that some quarterbacks can do, some can't. So they showed this early. They showed this too early over here. This guy's way too wide. I'm talking about 53 is too wide to not be running this. Okay, he walks up. So this is kind of an easy pickup on this side. And then you just got one-on-one. I think this guy was a first-round pick last year. Why is the right guard kind of getting beat? Because he doesn't bring. There he goes. Second step's a little bit too wide. So now we make quarterback step up. And then when the quarterback sets up, like not many guys are making that play. That's why he's an MVP candidate. As far as just not taking the sack there, but getting rid of that football, even though he's going to get hit. Big time play. Love to watch these guys come down, though. One of the Chiefs, the Bills, you love watching these guys chase the ball. I think it's just super cool. Look at this guy right here. He wants in on the action, man. Give some big guys some pub time. I want to show you this kid's from, I think he's from Michigan, 55 Baker. He was there my last year. He's turned into a really good player. He just pops up. Honestly, I'm watching this for the first time. I had no idea he was going to make a play, and this is kind of a standard play for him, right? But what I like is, he's well coached, obviously, but you've seen this. We talked about this first play. Like, he's very patient, right? They're linebackers. They understand that they're fast players, and so they're very patient. And generally speaking, these defensive linemen are doing a good job of winning at the line of scrimmage. And so they're winning the line of scrimmage. It's hard for this guard to get off. And 94 does a really good job of playing that double team. And obviously the angles here, if you just go back and back up this play, like they're trying to push here because they're in a jam look, right? So they go out, man up, or you could go kind of A with this side, backside B1. And with his stance, I probably would have gone, when a guy's in a squared up stance like this, he can't really fire forward. So maybe the better thing to do is think about bringing the guard down and having an A block with the tackle, or excuse me, with the center to 55, and letting that backside tackle just take him and wash him down. Because now we're getting moving to the point of attack, right? Because this guy's not going to shoot this gap, you wouldn't think. And we've seen before that he'll do a good job of actually playing back into the tackle. He did that earlier in the game. Yep. So he plays right into the tackle, gets the turn. So he would have probably gotten a turn anyway. Now you might actually have a play. He just got all day to throw. He really is, he just has all day to throw. And the thing you like is like 91 wins here, right? And this is a bad set.
I mean, you look at 91 here, and again, with like, this guy's going to be setting flat. You should be cutting your angle and forcing him to turn early. Like, you're basically, if you're trying to beat him at the apex of the set right here, so he gets his flat set, flat set, flat set. He's still where he wants to be. Like, you haven't really forced an issue, and yeah, you win with that, but you're so far away from the quarterback. It's not hard for the guy to step up.
All right, so it's 14-3 now, and with a young quarterback, you're not going to just change what you do. Bills are shifting with the tight end motion. They want to stay in that over front. Just 6 in the box again. Should be a chance there. Good throw and catch. It's funny when you see a 6-man box, and then like when I see a 6-man box and I see the quarterback throw the ball for for like a 1-yard gain, I'm a lineman, I get angry. You should be able to run the ball. If it's a 6-man box, it's like taking candy from a baby. Check this out now. Again, look at the B gap. Look where the back is here. That might suggest something. Like, to me, this suggests he's probably getting the ball. Got this guy hipped off in kind of a weird position. That means he's probably following off. Like, he's obviously not pass blocking. You're not going to go on a route from this position. So again, you just have to look at every single team and understand. They're running RPO here. If you look at their left tackle, this is not like a wide receiver screen. This is actually a run that they have the option to place it, they pull this out. You can see again, as a defense, you can really start reading, and with the Dolphins we've seen the last couple of weeks, you can really just read the tight ends and kind of understand where they're going to go as we look at these games. So we're back here, obviously a passing situation now, right? See the stances, passing situation. Obviously, they can come up with a draw. Now you have all these people at the line of scrimmage, so they have options as well. This guy could creep in, 39 could go. He's got inside leverage. Now, that's an interesting matchup. Obviously, Gesicki looks him off and goes right to him. Yeah, okay. It's always interesting it's always interesting to see, because of the flow, you just watch the backers. It's a really good play action pass. I mean, given the fact that you're down 21-3, and you've got this motion, and the other thing is too, every time you switch the back, you have to switch this front, so everyone's a little bit disoriented. Right? They pull the center, they pull the tight end, bring the back up the middle. Really, these guys have kind of the tough block, but it's a quick pass off play action. Really good motion to get the backers out of there. Again, what you want is easy wins. Get your players in space, let them make plays, especially with a new quarterback, younger quarterback, excuse me. Again, you look at what's happening here. He's probably going backside now, looking at the tight end just because of his positioning. And that's, yep. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Dolphins run this play as much as anybody in the league. I don't know how much success they've had. I don't know the stats, but they sure run it a lot. It's like he's in over here, so love it. Great screen setup. Great screen setup. And what you'll see is when you run screens, what you're trying to do is that's why they run this guy across. They're trying to identify this guy they're in man coverage or not, because then basically if you're in man coverage and you figure out like 58's manned up here, so that's the first guy you go to, because if you're in man and you run all these guys off, man, those are when the big plays are. Zone, I mean, screens are good against anybody, but anybody who's rushing the field, rushing the quarterback hard, but zones aren't as good as man coverage for screens, just for the simple reason that everybody's got their back turned to the quarterback when they have that outlet. They do a really nice job getting on 58 here. Fortnite comes over and makes a play, but hey. So a couple good plays in a row. They actually have an opportunity here to get some momentum. So this is a quick pass. And it's always kind of interesting to see what teams do. Like what teams are taught, what linemen are taught. So let's just start at the right tackle. Look what that right tackle does, right? Out, trying to get up, gets stabbed, it's a bad look right there. I mean, you're going to get rid of the ball, but it's a bad look, right? Like, we always talk about, we want to win our matchups. We don't want to hang on. We want to win. That's not a win, okay? Center and the right guard are coming off the ball. Again, like, he gets, the right guard's footwork is interesting just given the fact that the center's coming with him, right? So he actually gets beat outside. It's not, I don't love it. The footwork of the left guard is great. Got his hands outside, but the footwork makes sense. It's great. And then you look at the left tackle, and this is the problem kind of with having multiple sets, having multiple stances. You get caught a little bit here, and every time, this is kind of a great example of why you don't want your plant foot up when guys are coming across. So you always used to hear the term like, post back to the line of scrimmage. Well, this is kind of the exact example why you want to get square and be able to punch and extend with that inside hand. Because right here, you get stuck, he wipes that hand away, and now it's just a short corner. It's super easy. Luckily, the running back's there to take care of him, but not exactly what you're looking for. I think they get draped over tight end here and get a PI call. He's asking for it, yeah. So again, just little details of the sport. So now, if we're going to be hypercritical, like stances are different again. Stances are different, means different things. And they're doing a really good job of, whether these are designed passes all the time, whether they're RPOs, obviously these guys aren't coming off the ball, but they're doing a really nice job, I think, for this quarterback and for this offensive line. You've got really only one guy one-on-one. He's the furthest away. Double team, and you hold 56 with a read. You got a quick pass, okay? Now, the problem with a lot of these plays is, let's say this was just a true RPO. These guys can't go downfield because they don't know if quarterback's throwing the ball. So right guard can't come off, left guard can't come off. If it really was, really can't come off the ball. And I think that was a design pass, but you might drift. Let's get back to watching some Bills offense. That's who you're going to see in the playoffs. And at this point, they're in complete control of this game. I believe the score, so it's 21-6. Complete control of this game. You're looking at a 7-man box, right? And it's just, you get a simple slant flat look outside to their number one guy. And really, when you simplify the game, and sometimes teams do this a lot, saying, how do you simplify the game? Well, you simplify it by spreading guys out. I love where they put 88 here. So 88's looking really to 21, looking through 21, but really he's going to come out and help chip on the outside. And what does that do? So if he starts here, the Packers used to do this a lot. They line him up in the B gap. So now it kind of takes this guy, has him something to think about, because every once in a while those guys will come through and just shock him. Right, but now you can just run around. It's kind of taking the inside away from 91. And now so when 75 actually sets kind of inside out on his player, knowing that he has help, it's a huge way to, it's just like it's a freebie for these guys, really. Now looks like that might be overthrown. Yeah. But easy outlet pass for him. So go passing situation, just look at the footwork. So this is awesome. So this is K5 protection, which is just a 5-man slide. What I love about this, so they leave the tight end, but everybody else, left tackle over is going to the right. They bring 2 guys over here to block. And if you watch this, 19, just taking on a corner. Like, he's never done that before, right? But he just holds him off enough. Just holds him off enough to allow down and get the ball. And everybody else, when you do a full slide, like, you should never lose any of these gaps. It's the easiest protection in the world for offensive linemen. So, they, as a coordinator, you pretty much know you're going to win here.
What's kind of genius about what they do on this play is that,
you can assume that this guy's going to green dog off of 88's block, but the man coming over in motion, because this is a man coverage. The Miami Dolphins are a man coverage, like zero blitz team. He doesn't have green dog responsibilities, so they know he's going to stay off, and now it's just a double move on the outside. And it's curtains, right? So really, really good scheme, really, really good thought process. I'm just kind of knowing the rules of the other team and using it to your advantage. So awesome stuff. They're going to be tough to knock out in the playoffs here.
So as we look at this game, you can see that General Manager Brandon Beane, he just got Executive of the Year, well-deserved. Congratulations, Brandon. He's put together a really, really good roster. And if you're a free agent looking at a place to go, I'm just kind of making a general statement here. When you look at teams like the Buffalo Bills, you see how they've gone up, especially on the offensive side. They went from kind of one of the lowest ranked teams in the division a couple of years ago. I think they're top 10 now. Obviously, they have some skill position players that are doing some great things, but as we saw, their offensive line's also playing at an extremely high level. And so if you're a player coming in, you're thinking about, hey, where do I want to land in this free agency deal? You're really, from a player's standpoint, what do you want out of a club? You want, obviously, to be put in the best position for you to have individual success, so therefore that can help team success, that can help you get a larger contract, et cetera, et cetera. But then you also want people that are there to develop you, that are motivated to develop you as an individual, that total athlete development attitude. And you can see that teams like the Buffalo Bills have the right pieces in place, that they're doing that. You can see them getting better from year to year, from week to week even. And so they're a fun team to watch. I think they're going to be a tough out. Certainly the AFC's loaded with talent right now, so it's going to be a great matchup, whoever they play in the next couple of rounds. But really, really enjoyed this game. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Have a great weekend.